All right, good morning, and look at that. We've got an actual Cameron with us. How you doing this morning, my brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm actually taking my lunch break hella early just so that I could be actual Cameron this morning. I've actually been on the job site since about 5:30 this morning.
Yeah.
Yep, that's getting it done.
Well, we've got Jeffrey Kukin in, and we've got Krista here. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Thanks for watching. Just real quick, as I was sitting here listening to the intro and watching it roll through, waiting for my cue to start the show, so to speak. It's just because I've got another video project that I'm working on today, and I was watching that. It's a short little intro. But getting all the things like when the fire goes by and there's that whoosh sound that goes with the fire to land on the beat, and the cuts between the shots to land on the beats. There's a lot of technical shit that goes into cutting one of those. That actually took me a hot minute to get all that right, to get all the timing right so that everything happened on the music. But it is what we do, baby. So, what are we talking about, Cameron?
Well, we're talking about the first 100 days of the former vice president's administration and how CNN they can't wait to slob that knob. And he's doing his big speech tonight. He's going to propose some crazy like 1.8 trillion, 1.9 trillion, just in more shit. I mean, I assume we're just going to all get stimulated to death. I don't know. I'm going to be real careful about how I phrase that one.
Well, a possible, or rather a probable result of amphibious priapism is overstimulation. Critical, maybe even fatal overstimulation. But yeah, a month after he laid out a roughly $2 trillion infrastructure plan aimed at helping the nation recover from the coronavirus pandemic, Biden is set to unveil an additional $1.8 trillion federal investment in education, childcare, paid family leave during his first address to Congress on Wednesday. This massive package, good God, the jokes just write themselves.
Anyhow.
This massive package, which Biden is calling the American Families Plan, no. There's this wonderful funny show called The Santa Clarita Diet, and there's a scene where Drew Barrymore is the mom and the little redheaded teenage stepdaughter run into this nasty biker guy, and the mom and her daughter have been talking about doing mother-daughter stuff all day, as in going shopping together and going out for ice cream together and et cetera, et cetera. And of course, the biker says something about, trying to coax them into doing some mother-daughter stuff, and then they have to have the conversation about how, well, he just ruined that phrase for us. CNN, you are that crack dealer. So, like I was saying, this massive package, which Biden is calling the American Families Plan, is the second half of his effort to revitalize the nation and ensure a more equitable recovery. Oh, Cameron, talk for a minute. There's bullshit in the chat that I have to... Okay, look, Twitch, you're not welcome here. Okay, Twitch viewers, you're welcome here. Twitch bots trying to sell me viewers? I'm fine, thank you. I can get my own viewers. Speaking of getting my own viewers, I will be live at the wrestling match again this Saturday evening, and y'all, we've had a ball doing those so far. If anybody watching this morning wants to join us Saturday, I highly recommend it. It's just good, clean American fun. And the last one we did, shoo buddy. Cameron, I don't know if you've watched any of it, but it would be worth your while to go back to the live stream and just watch the last fight. Because it's so much blood. Just so much blood.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you trying to sell me Mortal Kombat or professional wrestling?
Yes.
Anyhow.
So
Wait,
the
what were we
proposal would
talking
extend
about?
or make permanent enhancements to several key tax credits that were contained in the Democrats' $1.9 trillion rescue bill, which Biden signed into law last month. These are generational investments in our future, in the future of our families, in the future of our kids, said a senior administration official who is completely out of touch on the question of inflation. Yeah, that's right. Let's go ahead and spend. Let's not just spend all the money our children can ever hope to earn, but let's make sure that the money that they earn in the future is worth a quarter of what it is today. Right? When you see an old Western and you hear the guys say that the horse cost $5, it's not that horses were cheaper then, it's that $5 were more powerful then. They were more valuable. They were unflated.
Right. Things had actual value. So first 100 days of Corn Pop was a bad dude. So he's already signed more executive orders than the 3 that came before him. And it's not exactly an accomplishment, but he's done it. The biggest thing, and this just, God, this makes me batshit, is the taking credit for, he promised he'd have hundreds of millions of doses of vaccine and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. All he did was literally pick up the ball from Trump and run with it, because that was Trump's plan anyway. And CNN made sure to point out, well, Trump wanted to have 20 million doses done by the end of 2020, and he failed at that. And Biden wanted to have 100 million doses done by this point in 2021, and he succeeded at that. And it's like, golly, you total shitburgers. The vaccine didn't get approved until basically December, okay? And went into production immediately. And let's not forget that Donald Trump said we'll have a vaccine by the end of the year. And he was somewhat incorrect, because we didn't have a vaccine. We had like 3. But no, that's cool. And Joe Biden gets the credit for just doing what Trump was going to do anyway.
Well, as Biden took over, he said our plan is to get to the level that we're vaccinating 1 million people per day. That had been the rate of vaccination for nearly a full 2 months. When Biden was inaugurated. And let's not forget, part of that math includes the absolutely immutable fact. I mean, you cannot reasonably argue against this. It was so patently obvious that efforts were made to stall the approval of the vaccines until after the election. Right? The election happened. A week went by where just states had not reported their numbers, which is unprecedented.
And it's totally precedented in like certain South American countries.
And then all of a sudden the vaccine was approved. After it was clear that Joe Biden was going to be declared the winner. Then, only then was the vaccine approved.
Yeah,
you're asking me to believe that there was some major change, that some study was finished and was not published, because if there had been a study that was published to complete the research to make that decision, that would also have been headline news, because it would have helped to bolster the retort against the claim that this was done intentionally and politically, the stalling of the vaccine's release. But it's just patently clear. The vaccine release was stalled until after the election because it was a political maneuver by big pharma people and their political activists who were no friends of the Trump, to help Joe Biden win an election.
Yeah, and just not to go too far down this rabbit hole for obvious reasons, but gee, your overlords will suppress the Hunter Biden story, right? And they'll make sure to not allow Donald Trump, because how different would that whole election cycle have been? Like, and Trump would have done it too. It'd been like, why should you vote for me? I got the vaccine, and it's the greatest vaccine of all time. And it would have been hard to argue with, And then you got the Hunter Biden thing. They'll totally do those things to put their thumb on the scale for the election, but they'll never ever mess with frog erections to put their thumb on the scale for elections. No, that would never happen.
Yeah, and by the way, no shit. As soon as Odyssey or Rumble or any one of those finally gets live streaming up and running, we will be doing a live stream exclusively on that channel, where there will be no hesitation in our going just full down that rabbit hole. I'll say I won't go any further than that here, but.
Yeah, just for the catharsis of it.
Yeah, we'll probably even say things that are ridiculous, just to re-abuse the right to speak freely, as America tries so desperately to reclaim the freedoms of the Constitution while we are getting off the beaten. Okay, so.
Yep, Biden's first 100 days. My bad.
No. I am also at fault. So here's CNN's front page right now, and I hate to do this while we're on the show, but I just gotta fix this.
Uh-oh. What are you fixing?
The padding on this image, because you're just not seeing the front page the way you should right now. But it's not a terribly difficult fix. Anyway. As you're looking at CNN's front page, it's just... nope, I'll have to fix it later. It's just an absolute blatherskite of holding the residents' balls. Biden marks his first 100 days. But... America first, so analysis. America first has haunted Biden's first 100 days. Opinion: we can't let January 6th become a distant, distorted memory. Biden's first 100 days. What's he gotten done? AOC: here's one thing I'll say about Biden's administration. Analysis: the quiet radicalism of Biden's first 100 days. Quiet radicalism? The quiet radicalism of an administration and a party who have made active terrorist threats to influence the jury outcome of the Floyd case, of the Chauvin case. Okay, make no mistake, the things that Biden said, the things that Maxine Waters said, the things that Kamala Harris said around the Chauvin verdict before the verdict was determined, these were not veiled incitements to violence. These were specific, directed terrorist threats against the jurors. Knowing full well that Biden even made the comment, I wouldn't say these things if the jurors weren't sequestered. The jurors were never sequestered, Joe.
Yeah.
So you're either an idiot or a liar. And on that, on the Biden, you're either an idiot or a liar, we actually have a history of plagiarism and gaffes that suggest, no, Biden, you're an idiot and a liar.
Yes, both things can be true at once, especially when you're 80 and you're suffering from dementia. Not early onset dementia, just dementia that has a tendency to happen to people when they're coming up on 80 years old. And I'll tell you something else he's accomplished. Well, he certainly deepened the racial divide with his whole Jim Eagle bullshit, which is still one of the most hysterical things I've ever heard him say. But yeah, he's definitely accomplished that, and then just giving fodder to the Maxine Water types. And like all the people that want to say things like, "Oh, well, why couldn't you shoot them in the leg or shoot the knife out of their hand or whatever?" And obviously, I'm referencing the Micaiah and was it Adam Toledo? Was the other one? Yeah.
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 Shoot him in the leg. Shoot him in the hand. Just shoot your gun up in the air and give him a warning.
Yeah. When you hear people say things like that, you're hearing people that have not only never fired a gun in their life, you're hearing people that don't even have folks in their immediate sphere who've ever fired a gun in their entire life. You're hearing people that are so ignorant on the subject, it's difficult to be hyperbolic in describing their level of ignorance.
Steve says Jimmy Carter is one more step up from the worst president in history with his fool in office. Okay, Jimmy Carter is not the worst president in history. He's the most ineffective president in history. Right?
He's not Woodrow Wilson.
As far as the worst president in history, it's actually tough to say between Obama, LBJ, and Woodrow Wilson. And the reason I say it's tough to say,
little FDR.
Well, yes, but between those three, because Wilson established the taxation system that allowed for LBJ's Great Society, which is almost solely responsible for the national debt. Let me say that again, just in case you're wondering, in case you weren't already tracking on this, in case I haven't beat this particular dead horse enough. The national debt is almost dollar for dollar the same as the total cost of the welfare state since its inception under the Great Society plan. And then you've got Barack Obama, whose sins and crimes are many and varied. But okay, in fairness, you're right, Steve. You didn't say he was the worst. That's fair. But yes, Biden promises to be more damaging than those three combined. And in fairness, it's not even because Biden is all that bad a character as the president. It's largely because Biden isn't the president. Biden is the figurehead that represents a great coalition of communist, anti-American, violent, hateful, racist radicals. Right? They are monsters.
Yes. Yeah, what are some other things that he's accomplished in his first 100 days?
Well, it looks like we're going to run out of gas this summer.
Oh.
And yes, that is 100% Biden's fault.
Hey, but guess what? We'll totally get some miniature stimmy checks. We're going to get our child tax credits early.
Yeah, but then...
When I first heard that, I was like, wait, that can't be real. I said, nope, apparently that's real. They're gonna front load your tax credits for 2021. And it's like, I just keep thinking about Drew Carey and Whose Line Anyway saying, welcome to Whose Line Is It, where the rules don't matter and the points don't mean anything. It's like, well, welcome to the U.S. economy where the rules don't matter and the money doesn't mean anything. I mean, just the fact that they're even called tax credits is already a bad fucking joke. And now we're going to front load the tax credits and pay them to you early. I mean, I'm good at math, and that just makes my brain hurt trying to wrap my brain around all that. Like, it's terrible.
Oh, you know what, Cameron? I'm going to go ahead and find that find that right now. I'm not going to use it right now, but I'm going to cut that. That's going to become one of our splashes for a while.
What'd I do? Wait, no, seriously, what'd I do?
Drew Carey, whose line is it anyway? The rules don't matter.
Oh, okay.
And we're just going to use that as a splash for a while.
That's really good. I missed the
That'd be a great
splash.
stinger. So, yeah, we'll do. I'll cut that later. I just went ahead and pulled up the clip so I don't have to try and remember it. It's already there. I just have to cut it. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I know another one he accomplished. He managed to get kids in cages to like 800% capacity.
Oh yeah. Amazing.
That is, it's not an exaggeration to say that is a humanitarian crisis. And it's funny, something similar happens under Trump, and he's so evil. And then you've got AOC pretending to go to the border and taking those infamous pictures and where she's wearing the white suit and she's crying and everything. But now it's actually happening. And Ted Cruz is actually there at the border, actually filming these kids. And there's somebody there deliberately stepping in front of his camera so we can't see it. So let's respect these families. Yes, indeed, let's respect these families. Let's respect them enough to continue Trump's immigration policy. Because what was important about Trump's immigration policy is not just the fact that he said, I'm going to build the wall, and he was actually building the wall. What was important was the message that it sent. So, look, if you can't come here legally, don't come here. It'll be a bad day for you if you try and bullshit us. And there's been more than one of these illegal immigrants that has said openly, yeah, we decided to come because Joe Biden got elected. I mean, couldn't be any more clear. But again, that's one of those things. It's like, depending on who's in the White House, it's a totally different perspective. It's why I'm starting to think that the corporate media is just so evil. I am a capitalist. I really am. But I'm at the point where I wonder if news is the kind of thing you should be allowed to sell. Like, really, because it's no bueno. It's really not.
The problem isn't that the media lies. It's that only certain approved media are allowed to lie. And the unapproved media, guys like us, aren't allowed to tell the truth when the truth is inconvenient.
Okay. That's
So the problem you're really complaining about is, and there is actually law that is supposed to prevent this from happening, but the enforcement of it is complicated by the exact phenomenon that it's designed to touch on. But the problem is that private businesses are private persons, are private people. And so they enjoy, and I'm talking about groups like CNN, et cetera, they enjoy the same First Amendment protections as a private citizen. And as such, the government cannot intercede. According to the First Amendment, the government cannot prevent them from speaking, and that includes the government cannot prevent them from speaking. Now, where that gets tricky is it's so patently obvious that these outlets like CNN, Facebook, YouTube, where we are now, they are enjoying the protections of a private entity, but they are acting as agents for the government to carefully curate propaganda, to make sure that you're exposed to certain things and not to other things. Right? You could not do more for your country right now than sharing this show and shows like it and getting people to watch personalities like ourselves, people like Crowder, people even what's the little guy? Shapiro. Getting people watching stuff like that, and it's not sufficient. It's not enough that you like and follow us on Facebook, or like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Yes, do those things, but
please,
you need to start going over to places like Odyssey and BitChute and even Daily Motion, PocketApp.net, which we talked about yesterday. You need to get over there. Minds.com. Although I will caution you, be careful on Minds. It's a free speech platform, and the speech is very free.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, Minds does a pretty good job of it. People will share pornography on Minds. Minds does a pretty good job of covering the pornography with a not safe for work disclaimer and asking you to choose to view it. Which, okay, fine. Yeah, offer me a choice. I want it to be free speech, but at the same time, if there's a convenient way for me to choose whether or not I'm exposed to something without that preventing another person from being able to put it out there, that seems like a pretty reasonable compromise to me. If I had to choose between whether speech is free and whether I see occasional pornography where I don't expect it, bring me the titties. I mean, if it means that every now and then there's going to be a boob or even some gay porn that scrolls across my feed, and that's the price I have to pay to not have conservative speech censored, that's a less preferable compromise, I suppose. The NSFW warning cover, I think that's a pretty reasonable compromise. I don't want to see your pornography. I want to read news and cartoons and political banter, and see cute pictures of my friends' kids, right? So Minds is a good one, but yeah, it is important. It is massively important that you like, share, and subscribe and help us grow this channel, just like you help any other of your favorite creators grow their channels, building the brand, building the channel, getting it bigger, reaching out and talking to more and more people. In a very technical sense, we are still a small channel, but compared to people like Crowder that have millions and millions of subscribers, I would love to be there someday, and we need your help to do that. But that's not enough, because if we were suddenly a 5 million subscriber channel on YouTube tomorrow, we would still be constantly at risk of them just shutting us off. But Odyssey, BitChute, Pocket App, Minds, places like that, we don't run that risk. Those places, they're not just going to delete the channel. So we need your support over there as well. I think we've done the deal to death there, Cameron. You got anything to close on?
Just how many gaffes do you think Biden's going to have this evening?
I don't know, man.
What's the Jim Eagle moment going to be? God.
I don't know, but that's probably what we're going to be talking about tomorrow morning.
I can't wait. Because, I mean, at least we can laugh.
Yep. Robert A. Heinlein, man is the ape that laughs. He laughs so hard because his only other option is to cry. Thanks for joining us this morning, guys. We love you. Be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow.